and the mission statements. One's to help Abanje and Mami Water. The other one's to help another spiritual demography or something like that. And I was wondering which one will be better off.
So say it again. So what are the names? First of all, give me the names of the business and then each business and mission statement.
So my business church is Sons of Lucifer Foundation. First Sons of Lucifer Foundation is Nigerian. It's a Nigerian thing. And the fashion company and jewelry company is London Vampires, which is based in the West End.
I'm not drawn to the latter.
And the other one, the other business is London Young Kings. That's the other business, the comparison one. So Sons of Lucifer, London Vampires are the same thing, and Young Kings is the competitive rival, business rival.
We see that they are all going to be successful, but more the first one, the vampire one. I see that it seems to be more successful and gaining lots of attention and popularity with that. Yeah.
All right, cool. What about both have spiritual kids that they target to help as a mission statement for their business? So would these spiritual kids be better off? Which spiritual kids will be better off? And would they be better off?
I don't understand your question. Which spiritual kids?
Yeah, which
what?
company?
The vampire one?
No, London Vampires and Sons of Lucifer is one business. One department handles the heritage. So Sons of Lucifer is the heritage department for London Vampires. And London Vampires is the commercial retail business. So Young Kings got it all in one. So Young Kings is the other business, the comparison one.
Okay.
So between the two business, Young Kings and London Vampires / Sons of Lucifer, which business would offer more to the spiritual clients that they're targeting that are children in need? The kids are children in need.
I would say the kids and children in need will actually get more of that. Yes, I would say the kids with children children in need. Yeah. Hello?
So which one will do better? Could you go into spirit?
The kids.
No, but both have got kids. Both have got kids that they target. So which business will offer more to the kids?
Maybe I both offering kids, but with the names that you just gave me, one was the kids in need, and the one with
no, none is kids in need. The kids in need are the Mami Water and the Abanje.
Okay.
And the other business has its own version that it targets.
So between which two are we talking about?
London Vampires and Sons of Lucifer / London Vampires and Young Kings.
Young Kings, that's what I'm talking about. I do see that is going to get more of the attraction and more popularity and more successful.
So which one's more spiritual?
The first one, it seems more spiritual. But if you're asking just generally, which one would be more successful? The young teens will.
Which one will have the biggest business?
The young teens.
Which one will be?
I know you are drawn to the first one.
The first one's mine. Which one will be more commercial?
Young teens.
So spiritually, could you go into depth about what each one offers?
So spiritually, what is going on is the first one seems to actually able to actually target people that need more of that spiritual need, whereas the second one seems to just be generally picking up a bit of charity and also a bit of people going out of their way to actually help teens. That is what I'm getting on. That would be the day-to-day responsibilities. I cannot pick that up, but just overall, in general, it seems as though that is what's going to be offering. The first one, more the spiritual side of things, kids that are challenged, that need perhaps prayers or whatever it is. Whereas the second one, it's more just generally, it could be people donating, could be clothes and all of that. So first one, spiritually targeted. Second one, more general, helping out of teens and children.
Which one develops? Which one will make the kids into spiritual figures in the community?
The first one will give them the spiritual, make them spiritual. We'll put them in the spiritual community, if that makes sense. The first one, yeah.
And could you explain a little bit more on how they will do that?
Again, it's when we say explain a bit more, it's spirituality. How do we explain spirituality?
No, like
it's
things that will happen, things that they will do, things that will happen. Like,
and that's what I'm saying. I cannot go into the day-to-day responsibilities.
No day-to-day, just overall. Overall.
Yeah, and that's what
more depth.
And that's what I said to you earlier. Sorry,
I'm talking. I know what you said, and I get that, but could you also explain it? How would the kids see what? How would the kids, from the kids' point of view, how would it be from them being under London Vampires, Sons of Lucifer, and then opposed to Young Kings?
Understand that makes me that is much more clearer. Okay, so in answer to that question, what I see how the kids will feel around the first one, the spiritual element, is they can go in depth about traumatic experiences, things that have happened to them, things that perhaps they cannot talk to anyone about. That is the first company with leading with the spiritual side of things. So
And
the kids generally.
Cool. Could you continue?
So the kids generally will be able to open up a lot more, and I can see here it's going to also offer them for them, the way they view that will be the opportunity to be the best versions of themselves, rather than just getting help. Because the young teens, the way the kids will view it as, okay, there's help here, and not that in depth. Whereas the spiritual elements of things, they will feel like, okay, we can talk to people about our emotional needs, support, and things like that. Because support can be physical, emotional. Young teens seem to offer, yes, an element of more of the physical side of support, maybe physical, financial, and things like that. Whereas the spiritual side of the business will help with the emotional aspect, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, cool.
So I can see. Okay, go on.
No,
do you have a question?
no, I'm listening to you.
Okay, so I can see here in terms of the kids' perspective, if that's the question, they will be more open-minded. Generally, they'll be more open-minded with the spiritual aspect, the first company. But I can see the general public will be more drawn to the young teens because it offers more broader perspective, where the spiritual side is just narrowed. Well, that's how people will view it, though, not as though if that's how it should be. But so it feels like the kids will be more drawn to the spiritual side of things, and just everyone in general will be more drawn to the opposite. Yeah.
Alright, cool. So could you tell me how wealth, according to wealth, which one's the most wealthiest?
I've already said it, which is the young teens. I would say the young teens. I don't know if there's a possibility, and hey, I'm not trying to tell you how to run your business, but is there any chance you could combine all three, where you could say, young teens, this is what we do, but we have an element of XYZ, general support, spiritual support, and all of those things. If you could do it that way, you are actually, and perhaps not, and I'm not telling you what to do or what not to do, but in order for you to get the maximum outcome and possible success with this, if you could kind of combine all under one umbrella, one way or the other, where the head is, okay, young teens, underneath that, all these elements, that would be more successful. But if you were to pick the two apart, I would say the young team seems to be more successful than the other one.
Alright, cool.
Does that make sense? I hope that's clear enough.
Yeah. I'm thinking. Say like in 200 years or 2 centuries, yeah, which one would offer, which one would still stand spiritually?
Sorry, please come again. I don't understand your question.
Which one would still, say in 200 years or 2 centuries from now, which one would stand spiritually?
Of course, the first one, I forget the name. The first one will stand more spiritually because that is where you are leading by. But the young teens is the young teens. It's still going to be successful, but the first one seems to have more of the spiritual element, if that's what you're asking.
Cool. Is there any rivalry between the two businesses?
Rivalry?
Yeah, I'm asking.
Oh, I'm not. I'm not from what I'm picking up on here. I won't use the word rivalry. No, not from what I'm picking up on here.
Which one will have the most assets in their name?
I would say young teens. Yeah, the young teens will have more assets. And then, yeah.
So how wealthy would Land of Vampire Sons of Lucifer be in the future or now?
How what?
Wealthy.
Not being wealthy enough. When you say how wealthy, how are we measuring it? I would say it will survive, it will break even, there will be some profit. But if you were to, I cannot use numbers, I'm sorry. But when you're saying how successful, I can see it being successful, but I feel what we are getting here is the young teams will be more successful than the other.
Alright, cool. And which one will be more global?
The young team seems to be more global. I would say the young team will be more global, yeah.
Which one will be more globally respected in the pagan community?
Of course, the spiritual element of things because of the name and everything. I would say the pagan community is the best one will.
Which one will be respected more by the corporates?
Young teens.
And the independent corporates? Local
Young
corporates?
teens. Young teens.
What's the size of the two businesses? Are they both equally rival? Or are they one's way bigger and one's way smaller?
Yeah, I won't use because when we say way smaller, let's just say big or small, okay? Because I would say the young team seems to be way bigger than the other one, the first one. Yeah, the young team seems to be bigger. Young team seems to be bigger than the one. Yeah. So a lot of things for you to decide on. Quite a lot of things. Are all good things. It's not anything major. I'm not thinking about any major to worry about.
Do you know what Young Kings is? Young Kings is the grime industry.
Say it again.
Young Kings is the grime industry.
Okay.
And Sons of Lucifer, Land of Vampires is my company.
Okay.
So comparing to that, how big am I to Young Kings?
As I said, Young Teens is bigger than the other one, your company.
Well,
So
could you
regardless of
compare
how
the
you decide
size,
it.
percentages? Where does it
Sorry,
stand?
percentages. Okay. I would say Young Teens would be about 60%, 60 to 65%, whereas your company would be about 40%-ish. Yeah.
Alright, cool. Alright. And that's the grime industry.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. Thanks. Bye.